Shalom. Kol holo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name's Barad the Ball, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, as you can see, it says Floyd Mayweather files lawsuit. All right. And then in front of it says the truth behind Floyd Mayweather's $175 million vanishing. Now, of course, it's in the news that he is a lawsuit. And if anyone, of course, many people my age and a few younger, but of course, some older, know Floyd Mayweather was famous boxer. Okay, 50 fights, 0 losses, and understanding that he made, or at least he had been shown to have made millions upon millions of dollars, and as a result of his money, Money Mayweather is what he go by. This is what I am going to call a cautionary tale, part 24. I myself, not too far from his age, maybe he has me about a year or two, but in any case, had seen him come up as far as starting off boxing. Actually, I myself had actually had an opportunity, which I never got it developed, so you can take my word for it or not, but I actually had an opportunity to see Floyd Mayweather one day in Vegas and, took a picture with him. But that's neither here nor there. Just understanding how I have watched his career and how he increased not only in talent, but also wealth. And just like the scriptures tell you, also there was a lot of pride. Okay. Pride goeth before destruction, as the Lord says, and a haughty spirit before a fall. When you look at a lot of his interviews, he always talked about what he had accomplished. His father, of course, reared him up, in the boxing world, as the scriptures tell you, says, who was also himself, his father and his uncle were professional fighters. And the scriptures, they say, train up in the child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart. And that goes mainly for the scriptures, for men of the Lord, training up the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But then it also applies in the world. He was one, I think 7 or even younger, going into the gym and running with his father, hitting the bags, hitting the pads with his family all around him, coming up the ranks and becoming very, very skilled. One of the best to ever box. Okay, one of the best defensive men of all time. However, as time has gone on, he have connected himself with a lot of people that are outside of his own, and of course, it just so happened to be the Amalekites. And what we have mentioned, and Yahweh Shai has mentioned, he says, the thief cometh not, John 10, verse 10, but to kill, steal, and destroy. And so this is an example that I'm going to play here as what I'm saying, the cautionary tale of Floyd Mayweather. And the point I want to make is know who you do good to. So here we go. Hopefully it's edifying, uplifting, exhorting of the elect body of true believers. Here we go.
The same people that Floyd Mayweather was standing up for are the same people that took $175 million from him. Check this out.
I will always be the voice for the people in Israel. I will always stand behind the country of Israel. The one and only Floyd Money Mayweather in Israel. I will always be here for you guys when you guys don't have a voice.
Let me explain. This is what's supposed to be Floyd Mayweather's good friend and business partner, manager, whatever, Jonah Recknitz. He is a big part of Israel, and allegedly, he is the manager who scammed Floyd out of all kinds of things, but namely, they took his jet, According to the lawsuit that Floyd Mayweather had put in, they wired millions of dollars into accounts that he didn't know about, and it was all behind this guy, Jonah Records. And it's really crazy because Floyd was caping and standing up for Israel so much, and then to find out that the same people that he stood for scammed his pockets, according to him. And from a couple of inside sources, they are saying that guy moved in and kind of X'd out all the Floyd people around him that had been with Floyd, and he got control of everything. And according to Floyd's lawsuit, he stole money, stole property. He even took $100-something million worth of jewelry, which I don't know why you got $100 million worth of jewelry, but sold it back to jewelers for only $13 million. I don't know what the hell going on, but this is a cautionary tale. Do not trust everybody with their money, and this came back to bite Floyd in the butt, and I don't like it. What if I told him?
Yep. So as you can see, we say it's a cautionary tale, and we're going to start with Ecclesiastes chapter 12, or Sirach chapter 12, verse 1. He says, when thou wilt do good, know to whom you would do good, know to whom thou doest it. He says, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. So, of course, the main point is not necessarily about, Floyd is just an example of how we in the world must understand who we're doing good to. And mainly, he's going to explain it. All right. Because once you get to certain levels, whether it be at work, the higher level you get up within your job, your career, you then start to tie yourself with different people, that have different mindsets and different personalities. And we have to know that we must be grounded in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, that we don't lose our integrity. Okay, we don't lose our purpose and start working for the purpose of someone else, especially that someone else not being of a man or Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is keeping his ways. And so as you've seen yourself, or at least on the video, where there's been speeches of him standing up for the Amalekites, who are actually at war with the Most High. Yahweh Shai said, in the spirit of Yahweh, he said that I will be at war with Amalek from generation to generation. And so when you actually then stand up for people that the Lord is at war with, as the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. They're still going to receive their punishment, and you're standing in the way and you're cleaving onto them, you're going to receive the same punishment such as them. And what is actually happening when he comes out in the media saying that the very people he stood up for, and he's now suing for $175 million. This is actually an open shame. And what's happening to Esau? His nakedness is being uncovered. Obadiah, where it says also, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. So two things are actually happening. He's actually being brought and put to shame because now you have all your information out to the media, and everyone is saying things about you. And regardless of how wealthy or how poor, we are people. And so hearing words, rebuke, correction, or any type of scoffing, if you're not in the right spirit, it still affects you. Okay. And so these are the things that are now coming out. The very people he stood up for are the very people who robbed him of much of his gains. So this says, when thou wilt do good, know whom thou doest it. It says, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. See, a payment, right? He says, and if not from him, yet from the Most High. So we understand that him getting his funds stolen, and he was doing good because he has a following, right? He has many people who follow and know who Floyd Mayweather is. For him to stand up for Israel, there should have been some benefits, some good benefits, but instead he received a recompense of money being stolen. All right. It says, and of course, if he was helping the man of the Lord, true men of the Lord, the Most High will pretty much pay him, okay, increase him. All right. As Yahweh Shai has said, he says, him that give one of his men a cup of cold water, right, shall receive a prophet's reward, roughly paraphrasing. It says, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. So we already understand that Esau, Edom started the so-called white man, but start these type of elites, especially the Amalekites. They are niggards, Niggard. All right, they're very stingy. They hold everything to themselves, and like the scriptures say, like horse leeches. Horse leech has 2 daughters crying, give, give. They're bloodsuckers. Okay, they'll take as much from you as they can, and this is what we've learned of them. And this is what has been exposed. And he's just a cautionary tale, an example of when you connect yourself with the top elites of this society, this current present world. And he says, give to the godly man and help not the sinner. All right. It says, do well unto him that is lowly. It says, but give not to the ungodly. See, everyone is wanting to be rich and connect themselves with the rich. The scriptures talk about when a rich man speaketh, everybody listens, right? So that's why your Bill Gates, they put him up front. You got Elon Musk up front. You got Jeff Bezos up front. Used to have even Trump up front. You had his name came and went, but they put all these wealthy men up front. Right, because people will listen. They have money, but they must know. They must know life, right? But prosperity in this life doesn't always necessarily mean that you're wise. Okay, receiving money in this world, because the money that backs a lot of these people, the people who provide the money to make these people wealthy and rich, are evil. And they always want something in return. And so again, he says, for the Most High hateth sinners, it says, do well unto him, verse 5, that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Okay. And he gave his time, right? He gave his energy. He made investments. It says, hold back thy bread and give not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby, for else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. Does this not sound like the situation? He stood up for these people. He made investments with these people, and now he's suing these people for a healthy sum of money, right? More money than many people will ever see in their lifetime. It says, for the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance to the ungodly and all those who are connected to him. So Floyd, as an example, those who are transgressed. He's a Israelite, all right, and he connected himself with evil and with evil men. And it tells you in the same Sirach about he that touches pitch shall be defiled therewith. And he defiled himself by connecting and setting agreements and contracts with these people. And it says, for the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly. And again, we're in their world, and we do have to abide in their world, and there are certain things you have terms and agreements. We buy houses, which is within their system, but there's a stopping point. Okay, we don't want to overextend ourselves and give our life source a lot of our energy, to a people who only seek to receive. Okay, because as a result, as the Lord said, if these were men of the Lord that He was actually dealing with, they would have treated him well. And the Lord, if they couldn't pay him back for the time and the energy that He's given, the Lord would repay him. Okay, but we understand that the wages of sin is death. And so the reason I bring that up is because what he's receiving in payment, is not only money being stolen. This should get him an out, and anybody who sees this. But this will only continue to lead to the demise of people, our demise, if you continue on to cleave on and continue to work with these people. Okay, because eventually the Lord is going to take them out of the way. So this should actually be this would actually be a good way to, you get your lawsuit, get whatever your money, and pretty much sever ties from these people and get from among them people. But we'll see how it goes. It says, verse 6, it says, "For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment." It says, "Give unto the good, and help not the sinner." See, the Lord keeps telling you, because there's something that happens when you do such things, right? When you continue to boast up, the proud, the arrogant, you're going to receive a payment such as them. But if you're helping those that are low, those that are poor, which is usually your own people, then there is a payment that comes in that as well. But when you get into this world and this system, they actually detach you from your own people and make it seems like a bad thing to actually help those that are in need. They always put it in the media. They never tell the good parts, but they always tell you that, yeah, especially when it's a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and usually they're in sports or music, some form of entertainment. But when they actually increase in wealth, like Carissa Shields is one, you can name them all, but they increase in wealth. They always tell you the story about how, yeah, I have family members when I got wealthy, everyone was just asking me for money and wanting this and wanting that. Well, of course, that will be the case, but has there ever been any other cases? We always hear that, and then that be their reason for departing and detaching from their family, because I had to take care of my whole family. Well, the Lord blessed you and put you in a position where to do so. Now, there are true stories, where families do take advantage of such things. But, in the end, you were the one to come up in wealth, and then you completely cut off those that were there with you. Okay, so that's just been an ongoing trend for the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians that come across wealth. Just keeping in mind that we're under the curses. Okay, it says, and you can't run from them. It says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hid in adversity. So, as you can see, all his friends, those who may start to speak up for you, when you're prosperous, you got many friends. When you have money and you're paying for everything, Fat Joe made that point. He said he had money, but when he told friends that he was bankrupt, he said all but like 3 people stayed along. And he had an entourage of like 40 to 60 people that he would take on plane trips and everywhere with him. So it says, continue on. It says, never, because I'm getting to the point. It says, in prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. All right. They see you flourishing. The so-called white man, your enemy, wants to find a way to bring you down, humiliate you. All right. And then, of course, you got 2/3 of your own people, as well. So we got to keep that in mind. It says, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. So now that he's in adversity, he doesn't have many friends to help him. Right. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, he came in um, amidst his own people. And as the man said, he started to find ways to get people out of his circle, to where then he had most of the control. So we're going to read further. He says, yet take good heed and beware of him. You have to know who your enemy is. All right. And how they move. And the only way we can know that is through these scriptures, the understanding of these scriptures. And how do we get the understanding? Through the men Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have sent to teach and give counsel on these things. It says, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So you eventually see that he's the enemy that the Bible speaks of. He's the evil, the wicked. It says, set him not by thee. We're going to finish here. Lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Okay. Well, one more scripture. Who will pity a charmer? So he was charmer. He's the charmer that is bitten by the serpent, and he was bitten by money being stolen, right? He got taken advantage of. And any such as come now wild beasts, and this is why the people in media are laughing and scoffing and saying things like they don't, he's rich. That's what he get for connecting with these people, the things in which they're saying. So the Bible, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is speaking, and he's showing many examples, great and small. And so we must consider these matters. I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting to the like body of true believers. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning to you, I say, Shalom.